This episode of The Rest is Football is powered by Saily because no one wants to spend their holiday hunting for Wi-Fi. We've all done it. What's something you always forget when you travel? That all-important working mobile connection, right?
Nothing worse when you were on a golf trip and you're on the course and you're looking to keep up with the football scores and you've got no signal. Absolute disaster, especially, by the way, with the tune flying high.
He's got Newcastle mention. Well done, Al. Sounds like you could have used Saily. It's a global eSIM app, affordable data in over 200 countries. Install once and you're connected wherever you go. No faffing with airport SIMs or searching for Wi-Fi like it's your lost ball on the back nine, Alan. Saily even saves you money because you can avoid high roaming fees when you're abroad. To get an exclusive discount on Saily eSIMs, go to saily.com/restisfootball or click the link in the episode description box. Hello and welcome to The Rest is Football with Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. Micah Richards is in the Parc des Princes because we're recording this immediately after the game to get a quick reaction to Arsenal going out of the Champions League. PSG will face Inter in the final. And first though, Alan, how was it at the San Siro? I mean, what a game of football you saw.
What an experience. I mean, I think it's one of the best games I've ever seen in terms of the atmosphere, the occasion, the excitement. The game just had absolutely everything. I mean, Inter had nothing. I mean, they made 5 subs just to try and get some energy from somewhere. Yet they somehow sent the centre forward up, or the centre back, I should say, up front in the last couple of seconds and got the equaliser. And then it just, as you know, goals change games. And the atmosphere from that moment onward, from being so flat, was just crazy. It honestly, guys, it was such a great place to be. I mean, I wasn't bothered who won. So for me, it was just to go there and to be able to just to be at the game and to enjoy it in the way I did was it was brilliant. It really was.
Some breathtaking performances as well, wasn't there? And some incredible goals. I mean, it was. Yeah. I mean, as you said, twice in both legs, Barca came from behind, and we talked with Micah about the game and the fact the Barca had got it won, hadn't they? I mean,
yeah.
We know the way they play. We know the high risk of it. But to do that when you're 3-2 up with in injury time and then to end up with 3 against 3 at the back, I mean...
Oh, no, that's what I said it in my core comms, if you heard it, about the decision from... Mal to go for the shot when he hit the post rather than to try and protect the ball in the corner, and then they lose the ball, and then they go straight up the other end and score. But I guess that's the way they play. They are high risk, and we have said that if teams work it out, then it will be difficult for them to come back. But they had the game won. I mean, that was the first time in the tie they'd actually been in front.
Yeah.
Was those few minutes? I mean, they absolutely battered Inter Milan the second half. They just couldn't get out. 2 halves, 2 very different halves. I thought Inter was superb in the first half and some really impressive performances. I mean, Denzel Dumfries down that right-hand side I thought was excellent again. Thuram I thought did a really, really good job up top. Obviously Lautaro Martinez got his goal and got the penalty. But the game just had everything. It really did. And it was such a weird and brilliant atmosphere at the same time because Barcelona silenced the crowd in the second half, and they were giving their team nothing because every time Inter got the ball, they just gave it back to Barca to say, there you go, because they were absolutely knackered by chasing the ball all the time. And they just gave it back to Barcelona, and then Barcelona came at them again, and yeah, it was just it was an amazing night. It really was.
The city must have been buzzing at the end.
It was, yeah. But it was. I mean, even beforehand, like when the 2 coaches were coming in heading towards the ground, you could hear the Inter fans. I mean, and the scenes on the TV, which that thousands and thousands and thousands were following the team bus from about half a mile out to the ground. It was just incredible, and to be there and see it and watch it was it was really, really a pleasure to be there. It really was.
Inter found a way. Let's turn our attention to tonight's game. Wasn't to be for Arsenal. I mean, they started the game really well, but I mean, you don't need to be a footballing Einstein to work out what Arsenal's problem is. It's been all season, really, isn't it? A lack of firepower. So many good little balls into the box with nobody there.
Yeah, I mean, albeit they've come up against an incredible goalkeeper who made some fantastic saves. I mean, the one from Odegaard down to his left-hand side was like off the charts, a great save. So you just got to say, sometimes, you know what? Well done, great save. Yeah. But there were so many balls coming into the box, and I was thinking, come on, someone's got to make a run, someone's got to anticipate where the ball's going. We've been saying it all season about their need for a centre forward, and they know that. Everyone knows that, and that showed again tonight. I know they got the goal late on, and Saka missed a big chance to make it a little bit tougher for the last 4 or 5 minutes. But I think over the two games, I don't think many people would argue, albeit they've had to rely on some great saves with Donnarumma. I don't think many people would argue that PSG were the better side over the two legs.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Very dangerous on the counter-attack as well. Yeah. Such great pace. But you're right to point out Donnarumma because those two saves, particularly the one against Odegaard, I mean, that was a beautiful strike. I mean, what? For a huge guy to get down that low that quickly, to fend off a shot of such velocity was really incredible. I think he's probably definitely favourite for the Golden Glove for this year, which he won, of course, didn't he, when Italy won the Euros. Yeah. But he's actually had a couple of difficult seasons. I think he was dropped at one point by Paris Saint-Germain. So he's come back really well, not just in this game, but also, of course, the second leg against Liverpool, where he was truly heroic, wasn't he?
Yeah. It was. Well, we don't need reminding that he is a top quality goalkeeper. I mean, when we did the first leg last week, there were questions to say, well, is he one of their weaknesses because he's not having a great season? But against Liverpool and certainly last week against Arsenal and this week against Arsenal, he's pulled off some really, really impressive saves. And for me, the best one was that one tonight against Odegaard down to his left-hand side. When he's so big to be that agile and get down and so quickly, it was a great save.
Great win for Luis Enrique. Of course, he's already won the Champions League with Barcelona. Got some stats here. Of course, they lost Neymar and Mbappe. Messi went a couple of years ago. They've beaten 4 English teams on the way. Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool and Villa. They've won the French Super Cup, the Ligue 1 title, which they usually do anyway. They're on track for a treble. And now in the Champions League final, where they'll probably be, I would say, marginal favourites. We'll come to that at the end, who we think will win, but I mean, they have got firepower, haven't they? And from all over in different positions as well.
I've seen quite a bit of them this season live, and they're. I mean, I go back to, I think it was the first week in October when they played Arsenal at the Emirates, and I was like thinking, really, all the hype about PSG, and they weren't what they are now. They were miles off it against Arsenal that night. But they're a completely different team. And I emphasize the word team because I think that's what they are now. They're really united. They've got good players. They've got probably the best 2 fullbacks in Europe. Mm-hmm. Their midfield is as good as any. If you give them time and on the ball, they'll pass you to death. And in forward positions, Dembele didn't play tonight. I know he came on. But they've got options as well in forward positions, and as we've mentioned, they've got top class goalkeepers. So they're an excellent side, and it's not a surprise after seeing them so many times over the past sort of 6 months. They just got better and better and better as the tournament's gone on.
Yeah, I think Luis Enrique deserves a lot of credit for transforming this team. Yeah. I think a lot of people would have thought, crikey, you're losing Mbappe, and that's going to be a difficult job. And as you said at the start of the season, they weren't particularly brilliant. Certainly in the Champions League, they weren't. Yeah. But the improvement, and the closing down that they do, and they do it at the right time. They do it, as you said, as a team. They've got individuals that can change the game.
Yeah.
Tactically, very good. They can sit and hit you on the break, or they can press you in high up the pitch as well at times. They had a sort of half an hour, didn't they, in the start of this game where you thought, well, but I also thought Arsenal needed that goal, because you could always, I said it before to Micah before the game when we were assessing the chances of the two sides in this game, that, Arsenal need to be patient and try not to concede. But I said it's going to be really difficult to not concede against PSG because, some of their finishing as well is terrific.
Yeah, it was. That's why I felt that the way that Arsenal started the game, I felt they have to score, because when they were battering them for the first 10 or 15 minutes and creating, they were causing them all sorts of problems from long throws or set pieces, whatever. They had the Martinelli chance, Donnarumma saved it. They had the Declan Rice header. He should have done better. Obviously, the Odegaard shot, which we've mentioned. And then once it just settled down a little bit, I thought that was Arsenal's best chance, and that was their chance to put PSG under pressure, and they obviously didn't. And I always felt from then onwards it was going to be a tough ask.
Well, they started to counter really quickly, didn't they? They had the Kvaratskhelia on that great effort hit the post, and they had another good chance after that, and you could sort of sense the fact that they were going to score in the game. And Arsenal, I think, really realistically needed to score first, whenever that goal may have come, but it didn't quite happen for them. I thought Arsenal did themselves justice. They certainly didn't lay down, but again, it's been their problem. They just didn't have enough,
Gary. They just didn't. No. The further you go in the competition, we asked the question marks about Barcelona and their high line, and we've asked the question marks, or everyone has, about Arsenal and whether they had enough in forward positions. We thought that with Partey coming back in, it would that would give them a better chance, and they just weren't good enough in the end, unfortunately. And that's something that they're going to have to address in the summer. We're all very surprised they didn't last summer or even in January. So that's something they're going to have to they'll have to face. They'll hear not only from us but from so many people that this season's been a huge disappointment with them going out and not putting up a title challenge really at all. So yeah, I just think you have to accept that they tried, they gave everything, but ultimately they just fell that little bit short. What also about the penalty, by the way, that PSG were given?
Oh, it was absurd.
Ridiculous,
I'm starting to really loathe VAR. I just don't think it's good for our game. It sucks the life out of it. And
when the referee went to the screen, even the commentator said they weren't sure what it was for and who it was going to be against. And it was like, once he gave it, it was almost like he was apologetic to say, well, I don't really have a choice here. It's like, and it was like, there wasn't anyone, not one player, not anyone thought or saw that as a handball. It was just a pathetic decision. It really was.
No, it was. Justice was done, obviously, with a good save.
Agreed.
Right, let's take a little breather and then we'll discuss it more when we come back. Welcome back to the Rest is Football with Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker, discussing Arsenal PSG. I think one or two injuries has damaged Arsenal as well. I think Gabriel's a big miss at the back. He's a warrior, and he's also such a threat from corners. And I don't think it's any coincidence that Arsenal haven't scored as many from corners of late, because he's the chief threat from those. Although they're a little bit predictable. We were talking on the group chat, weren't we?
Yeah, it was
a little bit predictable from corners now. Everyone seems to be the same.
Yeah, that's I was thinking. Well, you're trying to whip an in-swinger under the bar to a 6'8" goalkeeper who I wouldn't say was pretty comfortable, but never really was under that much And their long throws, it was like, how many times did Partey, after even with 2 minutes to go, he's having to do a 50-yard run to go and take
he didn't run, did he? He was like jogging over as though there's 15 minutes left.
And it was like, get the ball, launch it into the box, and hopefully someone will get on the end of it and flick it on and what have you. So they just ran out of ideas, even with the subs they brought on. I know Havertz is out injured and Jesus is out injured. Yeah, they just ran out of ammunition. They really did.
Yeah, I mean, two of the people he brought on, even though they were trailing with defenders, weren't they? Ben White and Calafiori.
Yeah, that's right.
Nwaneri, you thought may have got a little run at it at some point, but maybe he thinks he's not quite ready for that big occasion yet. He's still a very young man. What have Arsenal got to do going ahead? I think apart from stating the blindingly obvious.
Well, it is. It's that. I mean, it's everyone's spoken about it all season. I would love to know the reason why they didn't. Whether it was, and I said it 4 or 5 months ago, whether it was Arteta's decision to say, no, I'm quite happy, or whether it was the board's decision to say, we can't get you a striker for whatever reason, money, not one available or whatever, because I don't know. I mean, I'd be really surprised if it was Mikel Arteta's decision to say, I'm really happy with what I've got and I don't need a forward. Yeah, I'd be really, really surprised if he said that at the beginning of this season.
Yeah, I'd echo those sentiments. I think it does appear that they did go for Ollie Watkins in the transfer window, and that didn't materialise. You never know. That might have gone right to the latter stages of. We don't know. Yeah. But it is a bit of a conundrum. So yeah, I think they'll be certainly trying to acquire one in the summer. Into PSG, it's a tough one to call. I think PSG probably slight favourites.
Do you think PSG? Would you? I don't know. I mean, two very different styles with 3 or 5 at the back as interplay. They'll try and bog that midfield up. It'll be a fascinating battle down Inter's right hand side with Dumfries and the way he wants to get forward. It's a tough one to call. I was really impressed with Inter. I know it's slightly different because they're at home and they're being roared on by their brilliant crowd as they were. So, and I know it's going to be in Munich, but I think they've got something about them. You know, Inter Milan, they've got a bit of bite. They've got that attitude where they somehow found a way. And I look at that and I think maybe it's just their turn.
Not many teams concede 6 goals and go through in the semi-final. The Champions League. Yeah. Over 2 games.
Not many teams play against Barcelona and their forwards and how good they are going forward. I mean, they've got some incredibly talented players. Barcelona. I mean, it was great to watch them. So it's no surprise that Inter did concede, but it was just the way they sort of stuck together and they were equal. They were very impressive in the first half in how they got around that weakness of Barcelona, and also finding a way to get back level and then going on to win the game. It was that was the impressive thing for me.
Yeah, it really was. I think PSG though, I fancy PSG. I think it's their time. I think it's almost meant to be that Mbappe goes and then they win the damn thing. And he goes to Real Madrid that always wins, then they don't. Be the first time in their history. I think they won the European Cup Winners' Cup in the 96, 97, around that period. But this is obviously for them the Holy Grail, as it probably was for Arsenal. I don't know. I think I've got a feeling it's almost meant to be this season.
Do you? Do you really? Yeah, I have the other feeling. I think with Inter, I mean, it wouldn't. I can't say for certain, but I just have a sneaky feeling that it might be Inter Milan's chance to go and win it. So it'll be a great final, that's for sure.
Of course, Manchester City won their first ever Champions League against Inter Milan, didn't they? Yeah. 2 years ago. So maybe PSG will do the same. I think it'll be tight. I think it'll be close.
Me too. I'm just going to edge for Inter just because of the reasons that I've said. Yeah.
Well, I'll edge for PSG. Inter fighting for that league title as well.
Yeah.
That 3 points behind Napoli, I think, at the moment. So they've got a tough one there, but. Yeah, it's going to be, it'll be a great final. Obviously, we're disappointed because you always want an English team in it because, for the Premier League, but they've all been seen off by PSG this season.
What I would say again, though, Gaz, is that the change of format and everything that's gone with it, the jeopardy, the league phase, the knockout, I think it's been a really, really exciting Champions League this year. And it's been, for me to go around and I think I've done 15 of the 15 live games. I think it's been brilliant. It really has. The whole competition, right from the off, I think there's been some incredible games. The standard of football, particularly going forward, has been superb. And there's one to go, so I think it's been a huge success.
I agree. I think the league format was really interesting. Every game mattered. And also, I think it's not the first season without it, but the away goals rule, dropping that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people said, it's going to take excitement away from the second leg. And I think it's been the opposite in the sense that it's added excitement to the first leg, because that conceding a goal at home was in the first leg was what you had to avoid more than going out there trying to win. Whereas now I think we're seeing a lot better first legs in the knockout stages. And I think it's, and also I never thought it was fair anyway that
you never liked it, did you?
No, I never liked it. I just didn't think it was, it was odd. It goes against everything that football stands for in many ways. But anyway, that's the final.
Yep.
May the 31st, Inter Milan versus PSG. Could it be PSG's first title, or will Inter do it for the first time since Jose Mourinho was in charge?
Yeah.
Indeed. So, okay. That's it for this episode of The Rest is Football. This is replacing our Friday episode this week. We wanted to get it to you early to get an immediate reaction to the game. So, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.